Right, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Kieran, and that is right, I am so fucking hyped for this brand new episode of a new survival horror. Why? Well, guys, it's because I learned of a brand new game project that aims to be a spiritual successor to the Dead Space franchise. That successor being Negative Atmosphere. Now obviously this new game won't be exactly like the Dead Space franchise, but it will definitely grab fans of the original series with its look and tone. Although we do have little information in terms of like the story and the overall universe, we do have a ton of gameplay information that we can dive into in this video. But first, let me introduce you to the developers of this wonderful wee project, Sun Scorched Studios. This studio is a 20-person team working on the game from all over the world. Another cool thing about them is that traditionally like an indie developer would go to places like Kickstarter to fund their game, or you know, God forbid, like a sketchy publisher, but not Sun Scorched. They actually use the platform Patreon to fund Negative Atmosphere, which I do find quite unique, since the only other developers I see using Patreon for game development is usually like a mod team or people like Puppet Combo who make small indie games every month for their supporters. But yes, let's not waste any time because I do really want to dive into this project and let you guys know what this game is. So yes, let's dive deep into this story. Negative Atmosphere is set in the centre of a Cold War, not, yes, no, not the one from the 60s, but one in a distant future. Aboard of the TRH Rozanov, we play as the ship's ex-combat medic, Samuel Edwards, who encounters a mysterious sickness that mutates robots and the ship's occupants into monstrous creatures. By the way, I just want to say a big thank you to the Flickering Myth for their exclusive interview with Sun Scorched Studios from EGX. I'll have their site linked down below if anyone wants to check out that full interview. They do talk more into detail about Patreon and all that instead of more gameplay stuff. It's there if you want to read it. Before the outbreak on the ship, Edward served as the emergency physician, meaning that he was probably one of the first guys to be on board to encounter this weird sickness that's been mutating people in the bots. We also got a wee tiny bit of information about Edward's character through a Reddit post by the developers. This post is kinda like presented like a corrupted terminal log, giving us little tiny bits of information about the character's history. Edwards was born in Canada in the year 2185 and joined up with the Space Pioneer Royal Regiment as a combat medic, where he received combat training and field exercises. This proved Edwards to be a competent soldier and a reliable team member. The post then went on to talk about a battle that he was a part of that may have turned into like some sort of massacre, where he was one of the only few survivors. And obviously that being a massively traumatic effect for anyone, because you know, I don't think anyone comes out of a massacre mentally stable. He does suffer from PTSD from that event. Or at least that's what the post is hinting towards. I'm curious how this will affect him in game, or if this will just be like used as some sort of flashback thing for the story. So like we get to a certain point, he looks into a room, there's a bunch of decapitated people everywhere, it's a mess, it's bloody, and then he's like, oh, remember that time I was in this war and I was a part of this massacre? Yeah, that was kinda fucked up. Obviously that was all speculation, we don't really know about that. So yeah, that is pretty much all the info I kinda gathered on the game's story, as the developers are more interested, at least right now anyway, in sharing gameplay details, so let's move straight on over to the gameplay section of the video. Negative Atmosphere may look and feel like Dead Space, but the devs insist that Negative's gameplay will be far different from the latter. The game is a traditional third-person, over-the-shoulder survival horror game with minimal HUD to fully immerse yourself into the world. The HUD you do have is your health indicator that is highlighted on the back of Edward's suit. Much like in Dead Space, you can also see how much ammo you do have in your clip through the gun itself. But the thing is, like what I've noticed as well, like I don't know if they'll add to this, probably they will, but when you're firing your gun it says, oh yeah, you have 60 bullets in this clip, but they don't tell you how much clips you have, so I'm guessing you would just need to go and check in your inventory how many clips you have before like looking on screen. But it'd be kind of fun where it's like you kind of forget to look in your inventory when you're in a fight, so when you're shooting and you're like, okay, it's fine, I've got another clip. Turns out you don't have another clip and you're like, okay, I'm backed in that corner and there's about 5 of these guys. Well, I'm fucked. Since this game does aim to feel like a classic survival horror experience, things like ammo will be hard to come by, since there won't be, like, you know, any travelling merchants selling you weapons or ammo.
Over here, stranger.
Sun Scorched also emphasised on their Discord FAQ that there will be an optional stealth system, and since ammo is scarce, you won't be able to, you know, shoot your way through everything, so you might be forced to take a more silent approach. Obviously we haven't seen this stealth system in use yet in any of the demos, so we don't really know how that's going to work out just yet. Negative is also dubbed as a semi-open world, which means that you will probably be able to backtrack through the Rozanov, similar to how you would in the classic RE mansion. When you do come across ammo for your weapons, you'll most likely be using them straight away to fire at the 15 different enemy types found in the Rozanov. What are these enemies? Well, we don't actually have too much information, but judging from the EGX gameplay, we'll be seeing a lot of, fucked up beings cutting around the ship, as well as massive robots seeking us out Mr. X style. But unfortunately, we can't really rely on the current gameplay videos, as the team have confirmed that the enemies that appear in those videos will not appear in the final game. Weapons can also be found throughout the world, some, being the general standard weapons like a handgun, though Sun Scorched have said that we will also be using makeshift weapons and tools as well. Combat in the game does consist of these weapons, but also, from what we see in the EGX trailer, is a dead spacey, brutal melee system that includes stomping on those wee bastards' heads. So when researching this game for the video, I realised how much of this game is shrouded in mystery. I'm guessing we'll be getting a ton more information on story and gameplay details throughout the year, but as for right now, that's all I've really got, except for a few extra details. One of these details being that we will be getting our hands on the game when they launch a demo later this year. They also aim to do a Kickstarter campaign later this year as well, so I was kind of a little tiny bit wrong at the start of the video where I said, oh yeah, they're just going to be doing Patreon and that's kind of unique. Well, they will still be doing Patreon, but they want to launch a Kickstarter campaign to fund the rest of the game. The studio are hoping to launch this game with 7+ hours of gameplay if the campaign is successful. Negative Atmosphere has no current release date as yet, but Sun Scorched have said to expect it on platforms such as Steam and maybe Epic Store in GOG for around $20 to $40 when it eventually releases. The Epic Store and the GOG Store is not really confirmed, they're still kind of deciding on that, but Steam is a complete definite. The game only started proper development back in September last year, so don't expect this game to appear and release for another wee good while. I'm honestly loving the look of Negative Atmosphere, and I do believe that it will take off purely because it does have that look of Dead Space. I know the devs have said this game will not be like a straight up carbon copy of Dead Space, and will very much be its own thing, but the thought is still there. I'm really looking forward to seeing more of this game, and will 100% stream the demo when it comes out later this year. Oh yeah, so that leads me to the brand new fucking big news for the channel as well, because I am actually just recently made another channel called Bundicot Streams, which is used to store up all my Twitch streams and all that I've done over the past few months. I've actually got a few downloaded that you can no longer find on my Twitch right now. The reason why I'm mainly doing this is because there was a comment saying, hey, by the way, I want to check out your streams, but usually when I hop onto Twitch, I can't usually view them when going back into the the video section and looking at past streams, and also because you're based in the UK, you don't stream in the US times really. So I'm like, okay, fair enough. What am I going to do? Well, I'm not going to upload all my fucking streams onto the main channel because my channel becomes this gloated thing. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to open up another channel called Bundicot Streams. So for anyone who wants to watch me for 3 hours at a time, unedited, you can go over there and go check that out. So that was Negative Atmosphere. What do you guys think of the game so far? Please let me know down in the comments below, and if you have any other survival horror games that you want me to cover as well, again, let me know down in the comments below. Special thanks to my brilliant wee patrons, Simon609 Devil and Proxy1, for your continued support over on my Patreon. Thank you guys so much. So yeah, that was Negative Atmosphere. What do I think of it? Well, I'm really liking it. I'm really loving the passion that's going into this project as well. And the devs follow me on Twitter right now, and I don't know, I love how much they're sharing on the game. There's so much weird, 20-30 second clips of the game they're sharing with just models and stuff like that. I recommend, if you're into this game and do want to see more, go into their Discord, because they share so much shit in their Discord. They have a lot of things, and I'm guessing that's where they'll be announcing stuff first anyway. So yeah guys, that was me for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I shall see you all later. Bye bye.